Is it really possible for a tiny tweak to your morning coffee routine to ignite your metabolism and put your body into full fat-burning mode for the rest of the day?
Check out the link in the video description now and transform your morning coffee into a metabolism-boosting super drink.
Dustin Hoffman is a proud dad to 6 children: Karina, Jenna, Jake, Rebecca, Maxwell, and Ollie. Dustin and his first wife, ballerina-turned-actress Ann Byrne, married in 1969 and are parents to daughters Karina and Jenna. In 1978, the pair separated and Dustin went on to marry entrepreneur and longtime friend Lisa Hoffman, née Gottsagen. They welcomed 4 children together: Jake, Rebecca, Maxwell, and Ollie. In an interview with the Washington Post in 1979, Dustin talked about how he viewed parenting and himself as a father. "I know that it's a fantasy, but I wish that I could be the kind of parent who is like the ideal director. That is, someone who guides you without your even knowing it, without imposing himself," he told the outlet, adding, "I know that I have certain characteristics that have been rather constant through the years. For example, I always try as hard as I can at what I'm doing." Meanwhile, Jake, Dustin's oldest son, has complimented the Graduate star's parenting. "I have a great dad. I've learned a lot from him," Jake told Today in 2015 of their close relationship. "Both of my parents have been influences in my life." Here's everything to know about Dustin Hoffman's 6 children: Karina, Jenna, Jake, Rebecca, Maxwell, and Ollie. Karina Hoffman was born in March 1966 to Byrne and her first husband. Dustin adopted Karina after he married Byrne in 1969. According to Variety, Karina attended the UN International School in New York City. Dustin spoke to the Washington Post in 1979 about being a dad and how his oldest liked to keep him up to date on the latest trends. "I love it when Karina teaches me a bump and a grind, which is the latest dance," he said at the time. "The first time it happened I got very shocked, and I'm not easy to shock. I was embarrassed. It was a revelation." Karina was previously married to artist Simon Birkhead, whom she wed in the early 90s. Not one for the spotlight, Karina has lived much of her life out of the public eye. Dustin and Byrne welcomed daughter Jenna Byrne on October 15, 1970. After their parents separated, Jenna and Karina grew up in NYC with Byrne while Dustin juggled a bicoastal career between Los Angeles and the Big Apple. On the topic of fatherhood, Dustin candidly discussed the effect of his separation from Ann on Jenna and Karina with the Washington Post. "You kid yourself if you think being separated does not have a traumatic effect on the children," he said in 1979. "They are going to feel that it is somehow expected that they favor one parent over the other, and that causes conflict. It is important for them to know that they can love both, that they can talk to daddy about mommy in positive terms and mommy about daddy in positive terms." Jenna had a busy acting career in the late 1990s. She made her debut in the 1995 thriller Outbreak and went on to appear in 1997's Wag the Dog in the beloved 1998 comedy The Wedding Singer. Jenna's most recent role was in a 2001 film called Love Support. Dustin married his second wife, Lisa, in 1980. On March 20, 1981, they welcomed their first child together, Jake Edward Hoffman, in L.A. While pregnant with Jake, Lisa underwent an emergency cesarean section because Jake's lungs weren't fully developed. "The doctors thought I was going to die when I was born. I was born a month early and delivered by an emergency cesarean section. My lungs weren't developed yet and no one thought I was going to make it," Jake said of his birth to Today in 2015. When it came time to pick their newborn's name, the couple turned to a professional boxer for inspiration. "The doctors said I was a fighter," Jake said. "So I was named after the boxer Jake LaMotta, from the movie Raging Bull. It's one of my favorite films." Jake graduated with a film degree from New York University in 2003. Of all his children, Jake's career path most closely resembles Dustin's own, having appeared in hits like The Wolf of Wall Street, She's Funny That Way, The Irishman, and Netflix's Otherhood. In 2022, Jake got the chance to play his father's on-screen son, starring alongside Dustin in Sam Kate. The father-son duo played the love interests of real-life mother-daughter duo Sissy Spacek and Skylar Fisk. In a conversation with E! News in November 2022, Jake recalled getting emotional as a teenager watching one of his dad's films. "When I was in high school, T.